Sirajuddin sir, I made you as a host now.
Okay, okay, madam.
You please take care of this, sir.
Okay, madam. Okay. Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And also, I had sent you the YouTube live link also, sir.
Okay, madam. Received, madam. Received.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college or institute name, city name, etc. I repeat, dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college or institute name, city name, etc.
वही तो खाना नहीं खाने पीछे है तो और डालती हूँ
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, sharp at 7:35, we will start the session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Kindly share the slide one of your PPT, please.
Okay, sir.
EPP talent exam.
Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Madam,
Sir.
go ahead, madam, please.
Definitely. We present here in the 7 days faculty development program. And today's topic for the discussion is authenticating assessments and feedback, where we are also going to cover the designing meaningful evaluation. Myself, Dr. Kavita Diya, working as an assistant professor at Manipal University, Jaipur. Welcome you all here in this session. So before starting the session, let's have a quick overview of this today's session for the formative and authentic assessment. Where formative assessment both an integral component of the modern educational practices, where these are also providing the essential insights into the students' learning and growth. The formative assessments also include the different quizzes, reflections, and different polls that are also ongoing evaluation that is also going to help the instructor regarding how to gauge the students' progress and how to adjust the teaching strategies accordingly if these are required to be adjusted. Then, if I'm talking about the authentic assessment, then these are including the case studies, real world projects that are also designed to bridge the classroom learning with the practical application and helping the students to develop the critical thinking, the problem solving skill among the students too. So, the key difference between the formative assessment and authentic assessment lies in their purpose and timing, including impact. Where formative assessments are designed for the continuous feedback, including the summative assessment, evaluating learning at the end of the instructional. Where while authentic assessment also are more focusing on the real world relevance. And these assessments are also, when used effectively, these are also contributing significantly to the learning, student learning and engagement by fostering the continuous feedback, encouraging the reflection and promotion higher order thinking. इधर आ जा तू। So after discussing the overview of this formative and authentic assessment, let's start the session. Before starting the session, let's have a quick look at learning objectives of the session. The first learning objective of the session is to make you understand the role of the formative and authentic assessment. We are also going to discuss the how to design the formative assessment for continuous feedback. And we are also going to define the usage of technology and technology to enhance the formative and authentic assessment. And we are also going to evaluate impact of formative and authentic assessment on the students' outcome. So after discussing the
Ma'am,
this
sorry for
learning tips,
disturbing. Full screen is not available, ma'am.
Yeah, madam, kindly check.
is this visible?
Not yet, madam. Madam, better rejoin,
Is
madam,
this
and share the slide once again. Yeah, madam. Now it's okay. Kindly start from slide one. Kavita, madam. Dr. Kavita, madam.
Is this visible now?
No, madam, not visible. Madam, kindly rejoin,
Yes,
madam.
sir.
Yeah, kindly rejoin.
Okay, okay. Okay. Is this visible now? Hello? Is this visible?
Madam,
Yes,
something
sir.
is there, but not the slide. Slide is not there.
Okay. Let me check first. Is my screen visible now? Is this visible now? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
No,
But
Ma'am,
screen
your
is not up.
Is my screen
audio is
visible?
not seen.
Yes, madam.
Is my screen visible now? Hello?
Madam, PPT not fully visible. Slide fully not visible. Only a portion of slide is visible, but fully not visible.
Need to be shared. Mm, document screen. Okay. Is it visible now?
no, ma'am.
I don't know what's wrong in this. I'm sharing again and again.
Kavita, madam,
Yes, sir.
shall I share on behalf of you?
Yes, sir. You may, if
Yeah,
it is
ma'am.
not possible on my part.
Okay.
समस्या हो रही है।
நீ கட்டுறியா பாதி நான் இப்படி பேசுறா உடனே இவன் போகுது ஒரு இத்தனை வருஷம் இருந்திருக்கே ஒரு விஷயம் பேசினான் நான் முடியாது நான் செய்ய முடியாது எனக்கு வருமானத்துக்கு தகுந்த நான் செய்ய மாட்டேன் அவன் சொல்லிட்டு பேசுறான் அவன்கிட்ட அப்புறமா கொஞ்சம் அப்படியே மெதுவா பேசுறேன் ஏன் பொண்ணை வச்சிருக்கவங்க சேர்த்துக்க மாட்டேன் அவன்
Sir, please check now. You are the host, sir. Sirajuddin, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Kavita, madam. Kavita, madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, madam. Screen visible, madam. PPT also visible.
It's visible now.
Yeah, kindly go ahead, madam.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, madam, audible. Kindly share the slide, please.
Yes, of course.
Yes, madam. Kindly enlarge the slide 1.
हेलो हेलो सरदीप सर, आप प्लीज शेयर कीजिए पीपीटी एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस.
Yeah, I'll try, madam. I'll try. Wait for a while. Kavita madam. Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam. Speaker madam.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, madam. You are audible.
okay.
Yeah.
So
The screen is visible, na?
yes, sir, screen is visible
Okay.
to me and to
Okay,
all
madam.
people.
Okay, madam. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So let's start the session once again. That I welcome you again here in this session for the 7 days faculty development program for the teaching modern teaching practices and methods. And today's topic for the discussion is authentic assessment and feedback designing meaningful evaluation. So myself, Dr. Kavita Diya, working as an assistant professor at Manipal University, Jaipur, welcome you here in this session. So before starting the session, let's have a quick look at learning at the overview of the formative and authentic assessment. Where formative and authentic assessments are both integral component of modern educational practices, which are providing the essential insights into student learning and growth. Where formative assessment, including the quizzes, different reflections and polls, and ongoing evaluation that are somehow going to help the instructor to gauge the students' progress and to adjust the teaching strategies accordingly. Where authentic assessments such as case studies and real world projects, all these are designed to bridge the classroom learning with the practical application, which is also helping the students develop the critical thinking and modern problem solving. So, key difference between the formative assessment and summative assessment and authentic assessment that is lie in their purpose and timing, including their impact. Where formative assessment are designed for the continuous feedback, summative assessments evaluate the student learning at the end of the instructional period, and authentic assessments are focused more on real world relevance. So, after discussing the overview, let's discuss the learning objectives of this session. And here, the first learning objective of this session is to make you understand the role of formative and authentic assessment. Here in this session, we are also going to discuss the design of the formative assessments for the continuous feedback. And we are also going to define the usage of technology to enhance the formative and authentic assessment. And I'm also going to evaluate the impact of formative and authentic assessments on the student outcome. So let's start the session after discussing the learning objectives of the session. That let's start with the understanding the role of formative assessment and authentic assessment. Where formative assessment and authentic assessments both are crucial in creating a dynamic and effective learning environment. Sir, next slide, please. Next. Yes, sir. So the formative and assessment, these both are assessments which are providing the continuous opportunities for the students to engage with the material and reflect their learning and improve their skills. Not only as they are serving as to evaluate the tools, but also as instructional aid that is guiding both the students and educator towards more effective learning strategies. Where formative assessment, if I'm talking about its definition and purpose, then formative assessment are ongoing assessments which are also conducted during the learning process, typically used by the teachers to gather the feedback about how well students are grasping the material, unlike the formative assessments which are given at the end of the instructional period to evaluate the overall learning. Formative assessments also occur continuous and inform both teaching and learning practices. Formative assessment is also the primary purpose, which is to monitor the students' progress and to identify the areas where they may be struggling. So, by incorporating the regular feedback, and educators can also adjust the instructions, which is also providing the timely intervention and personalize the learning experiences. And this also allows for more flexible and responsive teaching methods, ensuring that no student fall behind. So the formative assessment also allow the students to gauge with their understanding and to make the corrections if these are required before they face more significant evaluation. So this ongoing feedback loop also help to build up the students' confidence and to encourage a growth mindset where mistakes are then seen as a part of learning rather than failure. So, if I'm talking about the definition and purpose of authentic assessment, which are also designed to evaluate the student's ability to apply their learning in the real world, where practical situation rather than more focusing on rote memorization or theoretical knowledge, authenticate assessments also assess how well students can use their acquired skills to solve the complex problem, to complete the task, and to produce the work that also mirror the professional or real world challenges. So, the purpose of authentic assessment is also to encourage the students to engage in meaningful and real world tasks that also require the critical thinking, problem solving ability, and also ability to synthesize the information. Where example of authentic learning is including that problem based learning that we also discussed in the earlier session, including the case based study, simulation and presentation, research paper presentation, and data debates, including how to create the digital portfolio. And these tasks also mimic the real world situation that students may encounter in their future career, preparing them for workforce and providing a deeper understanding of the subject matter. Where the authentic assessments also offer several benefits, including the development of transferable skills such as collaboration, communication, and self directed learning. And these assessments also help the students to see the relevance of their learning, which can also increase the motivation and engagement. By integrating the authentic assessments into curriculum, educator can also bridge the gap between theoretical learning and practical application too. Here, I'm going to discuss how these assessments, which are contributing to students' learning and growth. So, both these assessments, whether formative or authentic assessments, both work together to enhance the depth of the students' learning and personal growth, where formative assessments also provide the frequent actionable feedback that is also allowing the students to make improvements in the real time. And these feedbacks also loop the foster a deeper understanding of the content, such as the students are also given the opportunities to reflect, revise, and refine their work before summative assessment. Authentic assessments, on the other hand, also enable the learner to connect their learning to the real world, where in context and by encouraging the tasks that mirror the challenges that they may face the workforce or in everyday life, students can also gain a deeper, more relevant understanding of the content that they also learn to apply theoretical knowledge in the practical setting, which also help in internalizing and retaining the material. Here, let's discuss how these assessments also contribute to the student learning and growth. Where together, formative and authentic assessments support the development of critical thinking and problem solving skills. Formative assessments offer immediate insights into area of weakness and encouraging the continuous improvement, while authentic assessments also provide a final test of the student's ability to apply their learning, where the combination of both these assessments also encourage the students to take the ownership of their learning, including fostering the independence and self-regulation, including the confidence. So, these assessments also foster a deeper student engagement as they can create the active learning environment where students are constantly involved in their own learning process. Furthermore, formative assessments also promote a culture of ongoing improvement where mistakes are seen as opportunities for growth. Authentic assessments also
Excuse me,
ensure
Kavita madam.
that, yes, sir.
Yeah, the slide is okay.
That is the 15th number slide.
Uh, so see, this one is correct.
A 15 number slide, sir. It is sixth number.
1 5.
Yes, sir. 1 5.
Okay, madam.
Yes, sir. This is okay. So these assessments also furthermore formative assessments, which is also promoting a culture of ongoing improvement, where mistakes are also seen as the opportunity for the growth for the students. And authentic assessments also ensure that students also develop a practical skills, preparing them for future challenges in their career and lives. So, if I'm talking about the benefits of formative assessment and authentic assessments, then these benefits are including that for continuous feedback that both assessments are providing a continuous feedback loop that is also helping the students to improve their throughout the learning process. Second benefit is motivation and engagement. Definitely, both assessments by making the learning more relevant and meaningful, these are increasing the students' motivation and engagement. Then holistic learning also that these assessments also help the learners to develop the critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, including how the different skills are helping them in the 21st century. Then another is real world skill that is authentic assessments prepare the students for the real task and making their learning before more applicable and valuable. Then next slide, sir, comparing the formative and summative assessments. Assess. Next slide, sir. comparing the formative and summative assessment. Yes, sir. So, if I'm talking about the comparison of these three assessments, then first is that purpose, where formative assessments also designed to monitor and improve the students' learning during the instructional process, and their primary aim is to provide ongoing feedback that also going to help the students to understand their progress, identify the different areas for improvement, and to adjust their learning strategies. Where, if I'm talking about the purpose of the formative assessment, next slide, sir. Then summative assessment evaluate the students' overall learning at the end of the instructional period, where these assessments also provide a final measurement of the students' achievement, typically in the form of grade and score, and these are also used to certify the students' progress. So, another assessment, that is authentic assessment. That authentic assessment, where students' ability to apply their learning to the real world problem and task, and these assessments also aim to evaluate the students practical skill, creativity, and critical thinking by mimicking the real world challenges. So the second ground, that is comparing the summative assessment, which is timing of the assessment. This timing of the assessment, if I'm talking about the formative assessment, then these assessments take place during the learning and purpose, a process which is also repeatedly and smaller interval. So they are also designed to provide the immediate feedback to improve the learning. Then, if I'm talking about the time assessment for the summative assessment, then summative assessments occur at the end of the learning unit and semester or academic year. So, to evaluate the cumulative knowledge and skill students have acquired. Where authentic assessment is that these are integrated into learning process and are often part of both formative and summative evaluation, which is more focusing on real world applications. So third base for the comparison of formative assessment and authentic assessment is that impact on learning. If I'm talking about the impact on learning, the formative assessments, these assessments are more focusing on continuous improvement, offering the students opportunities uh, to refine their knows and skills throughout the learning process. So, if I'm talking about an example, then the professor at Indian University may use the online discussion for providing regular feedback to the students about their contribution and helping them to improve the research query techniques and writing the skills on time. Then impact on learning, that is including the summative assessment. Summative assessment is more final and oral, final and evaluation, as they determine whether students have met the overall course objective or not, often contribute significantly to the final grade. Where Indian universities, if I'm talking about the final year exam or the project, that submission can be deciding factor in whether a student graduates with honor or meets the degree of requirement. Mm, okay. Then here I'm going to discuss the best practice for incorporating both type of assessments. That is 27th number slide, sir. 27th. Sir, change it on 27th number slide. Yes, sir. So the best practice for incorporating both type of assessment, where first integrating the formative assessment regularly, where you may use the quizzes, assignments, and peer review during the learning process to monitor and support the ongoing student progress. both in offline and online environment. Then second best practice that you may use the summative assessment to evaluate the comprehensive understanding, where design final exams or projects that are also reflecting the cumulative learning outcomes of the entire course, ensuring that they align with the learning objectives or not.
Dear participants, excuse me, madam. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, dear participants, kindly mute your mic, please.
Then, if I'm talking about the next, that is incorporating the authentic assessment for the real world learning, where providing the opportunities for students to apply the knowledge to practical scenarios such as case studies, simulations, or the final project based tasks that are also both formative and summative assessment. Then you may use the technology to enhance the assessment.
Dear
Then
participants, kindly
leveraging the platforms like Google
my
Classroom.
humble request. Dear participants, kindly mute your mic, please. Priya Magesh. Priya Magesh, kindly mute your mic, please. Priya Magesh. Priya Magesh. Kindly mute your mic, please. Yeah, madam. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, whenever
So,
you find some disturbance, kindly ask them to mute, madam.
yes, sir.
Because I'm sharing the screen, I'm unable to mute them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, use the technology to enhance the assessment. We are leveraging the platforms like Google Classroom, that Moodles, or the Canvas for formative assessment and create the opportunities for authentic assessment in the online courses such as collaborative project.
Actually, you're not audible.
Or digital board.
Hello? Ma'am, you are not audible.
Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam, you are not audible.
Right now, am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay, okay, okay. So,
Madam, slide number.
that yes, sir. A few seconds, few seconds. So we were talking about the that 29th slide, sir. 29th.
Okay.
Designing the formative assessment for continuous feedback. So formative assessments are crucial aspects for modern educator practices that is also aiming at the educational evaluation learning of the learning and providing the instructions with the real feedback during the courses, unlike the summative assessments which typically take place at the end of the learning period, where formative assessments are designed to monitor the progress and provide the ongoing feedback. Then next slide, sir. Formative assessment are crucial aspects of modern educational practices, which is also aimed at evaluating the students' learning and providing the instructor with real-time feedback during the course, unlike the summative assessment, which typically take place at the end of the learning time period. And formative assessments that are also designed to monitor the progress and to provide the feedback to both student and teacher.
யூனிஃபார்ம் இல்லாம யார் வந்தாலும் உள்ள அனுப்பணும்னு சொல்லியாச்சு மேம் சாயங்காலம் தானே சொன்னோம்
சொல்லியாச்சு இப்ப அத உள்ள விட்டு
Can you
அத
mute
வந்து ஒரு
his mic again?
சொல்லிட்டாங்க உள்ள விடக்கூடாது
Dear
ஸ்விக்கி
participants, kindly
யூனிஃபார்ம்
mute.
போடாம
Media
ஜொமேட்டோ
please.
யூனிஃபார்ம் போடாம உள்ள வரக்கூடாது, அலோவ் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னோம் நம்ம. அதையும் மீறி
Priya
அலோவ்
Magan,
பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கானுங்க உள்ள.
Priya Mageshan,
அதுக்கு மார்னிங்
Priya
மெசேஜ்
Mageshan,
போடுறா பாருங்க, கம்மி ரேட்டுக்கு அவ்வளவுதான் வருமா.
Priya Mageshan. Dear participants,
ஏஎஸ்ஓ
kindly
போட
mute your
சொல்றாரு,
mic,
ஒரு
please.
எக்ஸ்ட்ரா செக்யூரிட்டி போட்டாதான் அவங்களால முடியுமா. செக்யூரிட்டி காசு அப்படிதான் இருப்பாங்க.
ஓ, அப்படிதான் இருப்பாங்களாமா.
ம்.
ஓகே, அப்ப யாரு வசதியா இருக்குதோ அவங்கள பாத்துக்கிறோம் நம்ம.
யூடான் கேட்டு பார்ப்போமா, இல்லன்னா
Can you
இந்த
remove the
எபிஷியன்ட்ல ஒரு மெசேஜ் போடுங்க சார். நான் அவனுக்கு
can you
ஆக்சஸ் ஒர்க்கு
remove
கொட்டேஷன் கேட்டிருக்கேன்.
ஆமா, நல்லா கேட்டு
நீங்க வந்து இதுவும் போடுங்க.
அவன் பண்ணிருக்கான் சார், ட்ரேசர் பால்ல தான் பண்ணிருக்கான் சார். ஒரு ட்ரேசர் பால்ல தான் பண்ணி கொடுத்துறான். அவன் வேஸ்ட் சார். அவன் எதனா பிரச்சனை கூப்பிட்டா வரவே மாட்டான் அவன்.
Okay, sir.
Issues.
Yes, sir. We are okay now. So the primary goal of the sir, 31 slide number. Sir. So the primary goal of formative assessment is to support the learning process rather than merely evaluating it. So this make also formative assessment a continuous dynamic process that is also more fostering the engagement, accountability, and deeper understanding of the subject matter. By using the formative assessment, instructors also can gather the meaningful data on the students' performance and also helping to refine their teaching method, adjusting the lesson practices, and introduce the additional learning resources then if these are required. Then next slide, sir. So in both online and offline learning environment, formative assessment can also take various forms, including the quizzes, polls, and exit tickets, reflections, and deeper feedback, peer feedback. That for these assessments are also typically low stake, meaningful that they do not carry significant grades, but play a crucial role in promoting the learning and improving the retention of the knowledge. Then, in context of higher education, universities and colleges worldwide are increasingly integrating the formative assessments into their curriculum. For example, online platforms like Google Form, Kahoot, or Quizlet, both all these are widely used for assessments, and while reflection journal and peer review encourage the deeper learning and critical thinking of beginners. So let's discuss the quiz. University computer science to regularly assess the students' understanding of programming, such as loops and functions, where the quizzes also help to them to identify the different topics that are require further explanation and allow the instructor to tailor the follow-up lesson based on the quizzes results. Gobi. Roti khale still have. So another thing which is reflection, where reflection is representing that whether the learner who attended your lesson, he is able to grasp that content or not, or whether he is able to reflect that content in his behavior or not. Then polls at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, where marketing professors use the real-time poll through Zoom during the hybrid lecture. That is also that, for instance, the poll questions on product differentiation help to assess whether students understand the core marketing concept or not. Based on the results, instructor may also revisit the concept if the majority of students are unclear. Then exit ticket, that if I'm talking about that exit ticket, Then IIT Bombay, that professor in physics. Courses use the exit ticket to assess the students' understanding of the concept like Newton's law. For example, students may also be asked to provide a real world application of the concept, allowing the instructor to gauge how well the students can apply the theoretical knowledge. Then 38 number slide, sir. 38 number. The strategies for using the formative assessment, that first you may use the data to identify the gap in learning. That Jamia Millia University, Islamia University, New Delhi, economic professor review the weekly formative assessment to identify that students are struggling with the supply demand theory, where based on the feedback additional online resources such as videos, lectures or supplementary readings are provided to strengthen the concept. Where another is adapting the pricing based on feedback, where professor at National Institute of Technology, that is NIT Trichy, review the feedback from formative assessments in thermodynamic. The data shows that how many students are also not keeping up with their pace of courses. As a result, the pacing is all slow down, and additional time is allocated to more practice problem and one-on-one consultation with the struggling student. Then personalized learning. Yes, sometimes you also take the assistance of personalized learning. Based on this, their professor provide personalized reading material and offer additional support during the office hours to help these learners to catch up with the content. Then defining the assessment, authentic assessment, that assessments are designed to evaluate the student's ability in a way that mirror the real world challenges. And unlike the traditional assessments, which also offer more focus on rote memorization or theoretical knowledge, authentic assessments encourage the students to demonstrate their skills and understand through tasks that is closely resemble the complexities of the example of higher education, both online and offline teaching environment offer the ample opportunities to integrate the authentic assessments. Then integrating the authentic assessments in online and offline environment. In both online and offline environment, authentic assessment can also be effectively integrated by using the technology to replicate the real world task. For instance, students can also work on the collaborative projects using the technological tools such as Google Classroom, Slanks, and Trello for project management, and this allows them to manage the task, share the document, and receive the feedback in real time, promoting the teamwork and communicate the skills in the professional. Then let's discuss the importance of rubric informative assessment. That both formative, ongoing, and authentic assessments rubric are also crucial for clear and meaningful. That formative assessments are often uh, uh, very much important to show that how these are collecting the feedback from the learners, where formative assessments also more focus on measuring the students progress and provide the feedback, while authentic then objective you are the rubric that you are for the courses. The criterion in rubric should reflect the specifics of the concept and students
Sir, not audible.
Yeah, Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam. Dr. Kavita madam. Madam Kavita madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam. Now you are audible.
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Slide
the
number, please.
second criteria that you,
Madam,
yes,
slide
sir.
number, please.
It is slide number 48. 48.
Okay, madam.
So you need to define the criteria very clearly that you are including in the rubric. That yes, these are the different criteria that we are going to include in the rubric for the evaluation purpose. So criteria should be measurable. They can also help you to adjust the both student and instructor to know exactly what is being evaluated. Then a third thing which is coming here, that use the Likert scale and performance level. To evaluate the students' work fairly and consistently, rubric also often use the performance level and Likert scale to define the different degree of the achievement. Typically, these levels are labeled from the excellence to need improvement or with the numeric values indicating the quality of the work. Then, fourth thing, which is describing the specific performance indicator for each level. For each criterion, define what contribute excellence, good, satisfactory, and need for the improvement work. That clearly description of for each level of with which will also help the students and instructor to understand each level of the performance look like more specific with their description. Then another parameter for the rubric design is make rubric simple and easy to understand. You need to ensure that whether rubric is user friendly for both student and educator. So you need to avoid overly complex language and present the rubric in the tablet form format or checklist that can easy to read and follow. They need to be transparent and share the rubric in advance. You need to clearly communicate that rubric to the educator and to the learner, that what are the different parameters that you are going to evaluate him on that basis. Then review and revise the rubric based on the students feedback. If the students giving any feedback about the rubric, about the variables that you are including in the rubric, then you need to revise it, you need to review it well in a proper way, and you need to give the proper attention towards the students ideas. Then use the rubric for the self assessment and peer feedback. Yes, you also need to prepare the rubric for the self assessment on part of the learner, as well as the peer feedback that you are collecting from the peer of the learner. Then what are the best practice of designing the rubric? That align the rubric with the learning objective, then use clear and specific language and incorporate the multiple level of the achievements, encourage the students involvement. Here let's discuss incorporating the peer feedback and self assessments into learning process. Sir, slide number 57. So, peer and self assessments are valuable tools in the modern educator landscape, helping the learners or the students' engagement more their learning, will reflect on their progress and improve their academic skills. Both type assessments enable the learner to develop their critical thinking and self regulation, including the collaboration skills, which are also essential for their overall growth and professional success. So, the benefits of peer review is that encouraging the reflection and self regulation. Then it is also fostering the critical thinking among the learners and analytical skills among the learners. Then it is also assisting you to improve the collaboration among the learners and their communication skills. And then these are also promoting the accountability and ownership of the learning process. Here I'm going to discuss the strategies for implementing the peer and self assessment effectively. 62 number slide, sir. So set first the clear guidelines and expectations where to make the peer self assessments and effective. It is also essential to provide a clear guidelines about the criteria on which students should base their evaluation, and these guidelines should also be specific and measurable, focusing more on key aspects of the work such as creativity and research depth, clarity and relevance. So another strategy that you may adopt that provide the training on effective feedback. Before engaging in peer and self-assessment, students should also be trained to how they may provide the constructive feedback. They should also taught to focus more on specific actionable points rather than general engagement, and effective feedback also help of the work and aid the then another thing is that integrate the peer and assessments into learning process regularly. For peer and self-assessment to be effective, one-time activity. Incorporating it regularly into assignments and projects ensure that students have ongoing opportunities to reflect on their. Then make the peer and self-assessment a two-way learning process where encourage the students to engage in the two-way feedback where they both receive feedback from the peer and reflect the feedback by they give. This process also enriches the learning process experience and reinforces the idea that feedback is an opportunity for mutual growth. Then use the technology to facilitate the peer and assessments. So the modern educational landscape, technology play a crucial role in enhancing the formative assessments and authentic assessment both, with the valuable opportunities to receive the feedback, track their progress, and engage in the real world problem solving the scenario with the help of various tools and platforms. Educator can also create more engaging or dynamic, including impactful assessment that foster the deeper students' understanding. So this is 68 number slide, sir. What are the different tools and platforms supporting the formative and 60 authentic assessment? That's 68 number, sir. So the first tool is Google Form. Google Form is an accessible and actionable, widely used tool that allow the educator to create quiz, survey, and feedback form. That it is also providing the real-time data collection and analysis also, which also going to help the educator to monitor students' progress effectively. In context of the formative assessment, Google Form can also be used for quizzes and survey that check for understanding throughout the courses. Then Kahoot, this is another platform or the tool that you may use, which is also game-based learning platform that makes the formative assessment fun and interactive. And it also allows the educator to create the quizzes, polls, and surveys in the gamified format, including how to encourage the active student participation. Kahoot also provide the immediate feedback and enable the students to see the correct answer and explanation right after each question. Then Padlet, that is also another platform that allows for the creation of the interactive board where the students can also post the responses through and and multimedia content. It is also particularly useful for authentic assessment where students can also collaborate, share the resources, and create the presentation in the real time. Then another is Turnitin, which is also widely used for the plagiarism detection tool that also offer the feedback features and help the educator to assess the originality of the students' work, ensuring that students engage in the authentic assessment by providing or producing their own ideas. Here 72 number slides up, 72 number, that integrating the technology to provide the timely feedback and track the students' progress. That first is real time feedback. Through this integration or integration of the technology, you can collect the real time feedback from the students for the corrective measures. That you may get the assistance of different quizzes and interactive polls where students can also receive the immediate feedback and enable to understand their mistakes and correct them before moving to the new concept. Then progress tracking. Next slide. That digital platform such as Google Classroom and Moodles also allow the instructor to track the students' progress over a time, where these platforms automatically record and store the students' performance data and making it easy for an instructor and to monitor their development and adjust the assessment accordingly. Then personalize the learning pathway. Many digital tools such as Socrative and EduPoll offer personalized learning features. These also tools allow the instructor to tailor the assessment based on the student's individual learning need and help them to progress at their own pace. Then peer and self assessment. Yes, these are also two important assessment tools. There you are collecting the feedback from the peer and also from the learner himself. Then 76 number slides are providing the constructive feedback, best practice for the assessor. That are most vital aspects of the learning process. That feedback not only help the students to understand their mistake but also guide them towards the improvement. And the key to effective feedback lies in making it timely, specific, and actionable, that students receive the feedback that they can act upon. It enhances their ability to improve and reinforce their learning. Then another is timely feedback, where timely feedback also helps the learners to understand and correct the mistake when the form information is still fresh. In the context of online learning, platforms such as Google Classroom allow the instructor to provide feedback on the assessment. Yeah, Ms. Sukha. uh, Classroom that allow the instructor to provide the feedback on the assessment and quiz almost instantly, enabling the students to understand their errors while the material is still relevant to them. Then a specific feedback that specific feedback should also address the uh, particular aspects of the student's work, whether it is their analysis, writing style, and understand the concept. General component like good job or need improvement do not offer the students any actionable advice. Then actionable feedback, where feedback also provide the students with a clear step on how to improve their work. It should not only point out what the wrong, but also offer the suggestions for the improvement. Then how to ensure the inclusivity in the assessment design. 80 number slide, sir. Sir, inclusivity in assessment is a crucial aspect of modern education, that it is also vital to ensure that all students, regardless of their background, ability, and learning style, have equal opportunity to demonstrate their understanding and achieve the academic success. By designing the assessments that are fair and accessible and inclusive, educators can also provide an environment where every student is supported and encouraged to reach their full potential. So inclusion is just not only about the providing the students with the accommodation, but also about embracing diverse learning need and perspective and experiences too. So this aspect or this concept is especially important in higher education, where students come from the varied cultural, social, and economic background, bringing bringing up with their unique strength and challenges. By recognizing these differences, and designing assessments that cater to wide range of learning style. So inclusive assessment also involves thinking about how various factors such as disability, language barriers, prior knowledge, and different cognitive ability that can impact the student's performance. Furthermore, it also goes beyond just modifying the test format to include the creation of assessment that challenge students to think critically, apply the knowledge in the real world context, and reflect on their learning journey. So, ensuring the sensitivity and creativity, both from the educator to design the tools that are effective and equitable for all the students, regardless of their background or their ability. Then, how to design the assessment that are fair and accessible and inclusive for all the learners. That first thing yet you need to consider is universal design for learning. Then, second thing is adjusting the assessment format, and then clear instructions including the languages, use the technology for the personalization, and provide the multiple formats for the feedback. Then allow the flexible timelines, and also the different strategies that you may accommodate the diverse learning styles and ability in formative assessment, authentic assessment basically, that collaborative assessment that where the students work together to solve the problem and to complete the project, that can be particularly effective in promoting the inclusivity. So collaborative work allow the students with the different learning styles to bring their strengths to the table of fostering a sense of community and shared responsibility. Then another is differentiated instruction. Sometime it is required, not all time, but sometime it is required that you are supposed to give differentiated instructions to the learner due to diversity in the among the learners. Then how to evaluate the impact of formative assessment and authentic assessment on the student outcome. 91 numbers, sir, 91. So, evaluating the effectiveness of formative and authentic assessment is essential for ensuring that they contribute positively to the student learning and academic growth. The process of these assessments is not merely to evaluate the student's performance, but also to provide the feedback that can help the students improve and refine their learning. To assess the effectiveness of these assessment, educator need to examine both qualitative and quantitative data, that is ensuring that they can align with the learning objectives and ultimately lead to a better outcome. The primary goal of formative assessment is to improve the student's learning. Formative assessment provide ongoing feedback to student and instructor that allowing for adjustment and improvement throughout the course, and authentic assessments which often stimulate the real world task help the learner to see the relevance of the what they are learning and applying in the practical scenario. Then here we are including the engagement and motivation, students self reflection, achievement of learning goal. Then identifying the learning gap. So, analyzing the data from assessments to inform the teaching practices and improve the students' engagement, which is including the personalized instruction, enhancing the collaboration learning, and students' feedback. So, here we are at the conclusion part of the session, that authentic, formative, and authentic assessments are the key to enhancing the students' learning by providing the ongoing feedback and real world connections, where formative assessments use the quizzes, polls, and exit tickets, which are going to help the instructor to adjust their teaching practice and monitor the students' progress in the real time. So, formative assessments are continuous and supporting the learning development, while summative assessments evaluate overall learning at the end of the course, where authentic assessments are distincting by their focus on real world relevance and best practice for integrating both formative and summative assessments, including alignment with the learning goal and using them to guide instructions. Where rubric also play a crucial role in creating the clear expectation for both formative and authentic assessments and ensuring the consistency in grading, where peer and self-assessment encourage the reflection and independent learning. Enhancing the student, uh, it is also enhancing the students' growth. Technological tools like Google Form, Kahoot, and Padlet that can also be used to facilitate the assessment, providing the real-time feedback. Where inclusive assessment design ensure all the students, regardless of their learning style and ability, have access to fair evaluating the effectiveness of these assessment through data analysis helps to improve teaching practices, enhancing the assessment and learning outcome across the diverse educational settings. So, here, this is all about today's session, where in this session, we understood the role of formative and authentic assessment. We discussed the design of formative assessment and for the continuous feedback. And we also defined the usage of technology to enhance the formative and authentic assessment. And we also tried to evaluate the impact of formative and authentic assessment on the student's outcome. If you are having any query related or related to any previous session, you can ask your query through dropping your query in the chat box. This is open question and answer session.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. So, dear participants, as the speaker, madam, rightly said, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. I repeat, dear participants, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. So, Kavita madam,
Yes, sir.
yeah, can you recap the entire session in few lines?
Yes, sir. Definitely, I can.
Yes.
So, today's topic for the discussion was authentic assessment and feedback, designing the meaningful evaluation. Where in this session we discussed about the role of the formative assessment and authentic assessment. Here we also discussed how to design the formative assessment for the continuous feedback. And here we also try to define the usage of technology to enhance the formative and authentic assessment. And we also try to evaluate the impact of formative assessments and authentic assessments on the students' outcome. So here we discussed how to understand the role of formative assessments and authentic assessments, where both formative and authentic assessments are crucial in creating a dynamic and effective environment. These types of assessments also provide a continuous opportunity for the students to reflect on learning and improve their skill. So they also not only serve as evaluative tool but also as an instructional aid because they all the effect strategy. Formative assessments and definition and different purposes. And authentic assessments, definition and purpose. Here we also discuss how these assessments contribute to the these are including the uh, learning. These are the different benefits. Compare the assessment, authentic assessment, and here we also discussed that best practices for incorporating both type of assessment, whether formative or summative. Continuous feedback. There we discussed that quizzes, certificates are ongoing. So here we also discussed that different strategies for using the formative assessment to guide the instructional design. And in this session, we will discuss the authentic assessments too in detail, where we discuss the importance of a rubric in formative and authentic assessments both. So here we also discussed how to design the rubric so that we can set the clear and expectations, that is also ensuring the consistent grading. Here we use practice for designing the rubric, which is including that align specifically objects, incorporate multiple levels, and encourage the student involvement and peer review also. The benefits of peer review and self-assessment for the students' reflection and growth. So here in this session, we also discussed how to integrate the technology to. We discussed that real-time feedback, progress, monetizing is also easy, personalized learning pathway, and peer and self-assessment also discussed in detail. Here in this session, we also discussed ensuring the inclusivity of the assessment design and different strategies for accommodating the diverse learning styles and ability. Informative and authentic assessment have been discussed in detail here in this session. We also discussed how to assess the effectiveness of formative and authentic assessments to improve the learning outcome. And here in this session, we also discussed how to analyze the data from assessment to inform the teaching practices and improve the student engagement. If you are having any query still, then you can drop your query in the chat box, as this is still open question and answer session.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. So, dear participants, as the speaker madam rightly said, the session is once again open for the discussion. You can clarify your doubts.
Ma'am, for plagiarism check, you took one name of AI that was
Yes, sir.
Turnitin, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like it is paid, I guess. Like, do you
Yes,
know
sir.
any unpaid and authentical that, yeah, this gives an like approximately the right answer, like right
Yes, sir.
answer.
Free available tools. There are multiple tools which are freely available, or software or applications which are accessible for the learners. It is just for the learner purpose, not the scholars purpose. And even though Turnitin is accessible for the scholars, where university is also providing these ID and passwords to the learners, but still, Turnitin is easily accessible. That's why I took the example. It was just an example, nothing else. But there are multiple freely available online platform which you can explore anytime, even though they are having lesser authenticity in comparison to Turnitin.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other query?
Yeah, anybody else? Dear participants. So, we are really sorry for the inconvenience caused because of some technical issues.
Yes, sir. Next time I'll make it sure that there will be no fluctuation on my part for the network.
Yeah. So, dear participants, any question, any clarification, any doubt? Anybody else? Okay. Shall we stop here, madam?
Yes, sir. There is no query.
Yeah. So with this, we'll stop here. Once again, we'll meet virtually tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. So till then, take care. Thank you, Speaker Madam. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
participants. Good night, Speaker Madam. Good night, participants.
Good.
they phone